Hi, Canberk. Welcome to our newly rebranded podcast, Lights, Camera, and B2B. And how are you doing today?
Hi, Ms. Khan. Thank you for having me. I'm pretty well, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm great. Was really looking forward to this interview because I think so. I'm going to get some new and quite an interesting insight from you today about this conversation. Before starting with anything else, I would love to know more about you. So please, Canberk, the floor is yours. Let me know.
Sure. Currently, I am the global head of paid at Cognism, and I am looking after Cognism and Cognism's other brands' paid media channels. Beforehand, I was the head of growth at Deepcrawl, and previously, I had my own startup. I made an exit, all B2B SaaS, and beforehand, I was a lawyer. So it has been a pretty wild journey, and yeah, I'm glad that the lawyer times are now over.
But how did this shift happen, really? Like, first you were a lawyer, from there, you actually started a startup of yours. How did this happen?
I mean, back in the days, I used to work with startups. Like I was doing mergers and acquisitions, but I was on the other side of the table. So I was doing the paperwork, I was doing all of the boring stuff, and I kept seeing all of those people having fun in their startups. So it was a wake up call for me. And yeah, then I got lucky, and a friend of mine offered me a position, and then yeah, I turned out to be a marketing person.
Wow. So your startup was also into marketing.
It was a bit marketing, a bit e-commerce. It was B2B. It was a B2B startup for the mobile commerce. So it was basically a no-code mobile application builder for e-commerce companies. You would just plug your e-commerce and then you would be able to create your mobile app. And we got lucky, like with the COVID, e-commerce got skyrocketed and everyone started to invest more to e-commerce, therefore mobile commerce. And like by the time we launched the product, the COVID happened literally after the week. So we got really lucky and our sales got like 1 million ARR in like less than 10 months. Then, yeah, I made an exit after 1.5 years. Then I got to offer a deep crawl for the demand gen position. I established the demand gen function in the company, and then I was promoted to be head of growth there. I built my own team, and then I went to Cognism, and since then, yeah, I'm doing the paid at Cognism, and I'm building a paid team from scratch.
Wow, that's like a lot of experience in very different fields, actually. First, you started as a lawyer, then you were in a startup, like you built it, and now you're actually in a job which is like tremendous. I mean, that's the amount of experience a person should have to, really be speaking about it. But speaking about things, I just went across your LinkedIn profile and I just saw this bio which said that you like disrupting traditional marketing strategies. That's your viewpoint. So let's just skim through it and would love to know what is this about.
I mean, I think we can all agree that B2B buying journey has changed. The buyers don't react the same that they used to a couple of years ago. And when you think about it, Scott Brinker, chief of Martech, he launches this landscape every year on companies, on what is the amount of companies that active in the landscape in Martech. And compared to 2011, in 12 years, the number of companies in marketing technology has increased by 73x. Uh, and even compared to last year, compared to 2022, the number of companies increased by 10%. And we are not even talking about the companies that went bankrupt, that are not active. We are only talking about the active companies. And all of these companies are actually having the same value proposition to make your business more profitable, to grow your business. And when you think about it, it makes sense. Of course, all of the companies will be offering the same value proposition, but uh, then this brings some statico into marketing teams. The marketing teams are using same strategies. They are using the same approach. They are having the same value propositions. Okay, we are going to grow your company. We are going to launch an ebook. We are going to create a webinar and get signups. But an average person on LinkedIn probably sees like more than 100 as every day, 100 ebooks, and nobody has any time to download one more ebook because your company is not special. Okay, your company can make my company more profitable, but also there are tons of companies that are offering the same thing, and I don't have any time to listen all of them.
True.
And the traditional approach is this ebook approach, like creating a marketing funnel from these low intent MQLs.
True.
Uh, but what I mean by breaking down this traditional approach is to get free all of this ebook, get free with all of these signups, but only focus on your product. And okay, probably there is like 3% of your target addressable market are in market, they are ready to buy, but there's like 97% of these people are not ready to buy. And rather than focusing and allocating all of your budget to this 3%, I'm more focusing on that 93, 97%. I educate them. The content is only in feed consumable, so people don't even need to click on website because I'm also a buyer. And to be fair, when I'm on LinkedIn, when I'm on Facebook, I don't click any of the websites anymore because I don't have time. I cannot click all of the ads every time. So here at Cognism, the approach has been the in-feed consumable content. Imagine you're on LinkedIn, you can see the content, you don't need to click, you can get what we mean on LinkedIn, and you can keep scrolling. This has been the traditional approach that we are trying to break, and I believe so far we have been pretty successful with that.
That's actually amazing because I just would like to go back to that point that you just mentioned, Canberk, that, there has been a lot of companies, like, let's just exclude the ones that are already bankrupted, but even after that, the competition is pretty high and nobody is really offering anything different. And with podcast itself, we say that it is a marketing activity, a very small part of it, but at the same time, it's a very top of the funnel activity. And it is sort of giving some new fuel to whatever it is that we're doing. For example, let's take social media. If we take social media, there are content, there are over salesy posts. So podcast is sort of acting like a fuel to, really supercharge your
Yep.
already existing marketing. Now that is like a breath of fresh air, similarly to what you just mentioned. And I think so that your viewpoint is nice, but at the same time, now what would, if we just focus on B2B SaaS marketing, what would be these strategies that you would like to implement or that you think work really?
I believe educating the audience, definitely educating your audience about the product. Like your audience shouldn't have to speak with sales to learn about your product. They shouldn't speak with anyone to learn about the product. Like they need to come to your website if necessary and learn about the product. But uh, I believe the best solution would be to make your target audience solution aware. They would know what is needed, what they can achieve with your product, and then when they need that, they can come and they can get it. Because when you think about B2B SaaS companies, the structures are changing every day. Like my CMO can come tomorrow and tell me that, Canberk, you have 50 grand budget for tools. Okay, then I know which tools I can buy. I have that list. But currently, if a tool comes to me today and says, can you buy me? I would say no, because I don't have the budget. But as you said, like podcast is one of those top of the funnel activities, and they create that awareness. And even though they require time for your audience to listen it, they spend that time because they know that they are going to learn something. It is not only about the product itself. Like you are not actually showcasing your product, but you are educating the audience on the marketing. And this is a great top of the funnel activity that we also do at Cognism. But for example, if you try to tie your podcast with revenue, and you try to count MQLs coming from this podcast, direct MQLs coming from podcast, you would probably think that podcast is not successful because it is not directly impacting MQLs.
True. True, very true. Because that's why we call it a top of the funnel activity. Because after that, a lot goes in, a lot of contacts, networking, and another sort of marketing that goes into it. Now, we usually say that video marketing is something that works after that. Because if we look at, I've used this example like tons of times. But if we look at YouTube itself, they have come into now made a category of podcasting itself. Now they know the value of it and how it could turn around things, right? So we always say that the video marketing has to come in and has to set up things for us, because only podcasting is not something that will get us revenue or any sort of ROI to us. So coming to that, only when we talk about B2B marketing, first of all, just wanted to know that it's Canberk or is it John Burke? Because I might be pronouncing your name wrong.
It is Jamback, but I don't mind.
Okay, okay. So, John Burke, now coming to B2B marketing, just wanted to know that because while we were also researching and what works for us is video marketing. So, do you think that it is successful or is it working in terms of B2B marketing? What are your views?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because it is a great way to reach your audience. Like it is cheaper
Hmm.
on YouTube, it is cheaper on LinkedIn, it is cheaper
It
on
is.
Facebook,
Hmm.
and yeah, compared to static, it is much cheaper, and you get more engagement. Like people are more likely to engage with your content.
Hmm.
People are more likely to consume that content.
Right.
But like currently at Cognism it is working. However, I'm still not convinced. Like we probably have like maybe 25, maybe 30% of our campaigns are video campaigns. And like when we look at the 50% view rate, they are good. 75% view rate, they are good. Especially like we are doing a lot of YouTube. We are spending a lot of money, but we can also see the results. Like we have the self-report attribution form. When people submit the demo form, we can see that the YouTube answers increase by like 5x after we start to focus on YouTube. However, again, my concern with videos, and again, maybe it is because Cognism is a product for marketing people and sales people. So I'm actually the target audience of Cognism. And as a target audience and as the ICP of many companies, I also being targeted with a lot of videos every day. And to be fair, I don't watch them if it is not exceptionally good. And this is for a reason. Like, again, even if it is 20 seconds, maybe I'm just on my phone scrolling and I don't hear the voice, like I don't have the sound on. Maybe I'm on my desktop just scrolling, but I'm about to have a meeting. So and the sound is not on. Uh, when people consume that content, they actually consume that content. But if they don't consume that content, they don't consume it. Like with static ad images, you know that people see that ad. Like even that they scroll, they definitely saw that ad. But with video, they either consume that content completely or they didn't consume it at all. So there is no actually middle ground.
Right. So just wanted to understand that why does this really happen? Because when you're talking about attention spans, is it because that some niche might find a topic really interesting? Is it topic to topic, or how does it really matter?
Yeah, I believe it is definitely topic to topic. Like if you have a niche interest or industry, then videos might work. But even with that, like if you keep bombarding your audience with videos, at some point they would get basically bored with those videos. And I believe
Hmm.
you are very right about the attention span. Like Instagram and TikTok changed the consumer behavior for good, and now the attention spans are really low, and we need to show the video maybe in less than like 10 seconds, 15 seconds in order to tell what we do and what we are trying to say.
Right. Because the next question mine was related to this only, not exactly, but in a way that, how is B2B SaaS marketing really different from what we're doing in B2C marketing? Because now the tools, the efforts might be the same, but I think so it somehow differs. So what is it?
So uh, in the structure side, B2B marketing is completely different than B2C. Like, we are not after getting only one sale, we are getting after revenue. Uh, and the sales cycles are low, long, and it is not like give a discount and get more sales. Like, it doesn't work like all the time. However, when we look at the main principles, these main principles are getting closer and closer to each day. For example, like, how did you hear about us is a very B2C tactic, but now it is getting more and more used in B2B, and it tells us a good story about which tactics are working.
Hmm.
The other thing that is the human voice, like in most of the B2B companies are now using the human element, because like humans buy from humans is a very B2B B2C marketing term, but now the companies are using this more often. Even LinkedIn, now they are launching this thought leadership as in which you can promote your individuals in your company by your
Hmm.
company, because again, even on B2B, even for LinkedIn, which is a company that is actually known for being very slow about this kind of stuff, even
Right.
they accept this fact, like B2C is getting more and more involved. B2C tactics are getting more and more involved in B2B.
Hmm. I think so. You're right, but at the same time, now B2C tactics might be very straightforward, whereas B2B might have a more strategic and more niche sort of audience that might listen to them. For example, if we take LinkedIn as a platform itself, that might be something which is best suited for B2B companies and their ideologies. But at the same time, now B2C might take another route, but as you said, that's true as well, because tactics are mixing, because one way or the other some practices are, they remain the same. But now, how important is the customer success really when it comes to B2B SaaS marketing?
I believe it is important on the social proof standoff point.
Hmm.
If your customer success team is strong, it means that your current customers are happy. If your current customers are happy, they will be more likely to give you testimonials. If you
Hmm.
get testimonials from your best customers, then you can reach out to your new prospects by those testimonials. And again, currently a company could showcase their product, they can tell what they do, okay, they would create that solution awareness. Those kind of ads will create that solution awareness. However, when it comes to the buying phase, people will be more like to listen the other people, not the companies. Okay, a company might make that person solution aware, but if that person is about to buy, then they need to get social proof. And if your current customers are not happy, if they are not getting a proper service, if the customer service is not strong, then why
Hmm.
the hell they would give a testimonial for your company? Therefore, I believe customer success in the whole marketing journey has one of the most important places.
But like, what would be the practices that would be the best suited to like gain customer satisfaction or retention for that matter?
I believe customer success teams need to know the product really well. Like they need to act like product managers at some point.
Oh.
Like they cannot only be like, okay, I hear you. I'm going to speak with the product team and come back with you. Like they need to understand what product is capable of. They need to be able to compare the other clients and say, okay, you know what, you have this problem, but another client of mine was having the same problem. They did that, and I believe this solution might work for you. So like it is more than a support. It needs to be in a more growth function,
Hmm.
so that not only the customer success will help as they should be doing to the customers, but they need to be assisting them to get them more from the product.
Right. Now, this is a very B2C or let's say D2C question, but does feedback really matter for B2B companies as well?
I believe it depends on your product team. Like if your product team actually takes the feedback and comes up with that, yeah, definitely. Like in my previous company, if one feedback from a customer actually ended up us building a complete new product.
Okay.
And because okay, if we are in the company, if we're in the product, we know what the problems are. But
Hmm.
if we are not using the product all the time, then we need that feedback from the customers, because they are the objective pair of eyes, and sometimes that feedback can actually uh, make your company to come up with a whole new product or change a problem that is actually maybe a deal breaker for most of the prospects.
Exactly, that's why. But like now, as we're pushing towards the end, slowly, there's just this one question, because we've already discussed what could be or what is going on. But now, as the future approaches us with all the technology, AI, multiverse, everything, what are these some emerging trends, or let's say technologies, that are gonna shape up the future of B2B SaaS marketing?
I believe it will be the combination of AI and human element. Like, I'm not going to
Hmm.
say ChatGPT will come and change everything. No, like ChatGPT can help us to create really good stuff. It can give us really good insight. But at the
Hmm.
end of the day, there will still be human element. Like, you can get ChatGPT to write thousands of blog posts. Okay. But you cannot get it to create your point of view. You cannot get it to create your new product. That would be still humans. But with AI, humans now will have to be more, I would say, creative. Because this is one thing that AI won't be able to do. And I believe the biggest change will happen in what do we expect from our employees. We will be expecting them to be more creative.
Hmm.
Therefore, with that creativity, they can use the AI to get more efficient.
I think so. Previously, we were like a few hours back, we were discussing this only, that how ChatGPT might just eat up some of the jobs and stuff. But I guess your point is right. But at the same time, anybody can just cheat from ChatGPT and make it their own point of view. So how does that really make it not so relevant?
Like, for example, I can get I can give ChatGPT like 10 topics. I can say, okay, write me a blog post, and it will
Hmm.
do it. However, uh, ChatGPT won't be able to, at least for now, understand what my customer needs right now. What are their questions, and how
Hmm.
can I reach them better? And for example, our new point of view at Cognism is that B2B buying behavior has changed.
Hmm.
And we are saying this for a reason, because we have listened all of the gong calls. We have been reading through all of the posts that we are getting from prospects and customers, and then we created this point of view. And currently, at least for a couple of years, ChatGPT won't be able to say, okay, this is what you are going to be doing.
Hmm.
But at some point, like, I'm not saying that it won't be able to be creative forever. But at least for now, I know that I can get ChatGPT to automate my campaigns on the page site. I can get ChatGPT to analyze my data. Therefore, I don't actually need someone to do paid ads anymore. However, I still need people to come up with ideas.
Hmm. That makes sense, actually. And last question for you, Janberg, before you go, and that would be some advice, because you have been, if you only talk about marketing, you've been in different aspects of it, from starting a startup to really doing these jobs. What would be that one advice for all these newbies, or somebody that's really struggling?
I would say test, like, testing and experimenting.
Hmm.
And even though you don't always get the best results, like, you need to apply the Pareto principle, 20% to 80%. Probably 80% of your experiments will fail, but 20% of your experiments will bring 80% of the impact. And even though you fail, like, for the first 5 times, 6 times,
Hmm.
you just need to get that 20%. That's it.
Wow, that's great. But thank you so much for joining us today, and it was lovely talking to you, Janberg.
Thank you so much for having me, Muskan.